a reasonable shape, something I could carry without it showing too much on my face or bleeding too much into my words. And what I realized, somewhere around the quietest part of the night, is that containing it was costing me something. It was costing me the full experience of it. I was so focused on keeping it inside the lines that I was missing the beauty of how far it actually reached. So I stopped. I just stopped containing it. And what happened next was the thing that broke me open completely. It filled the whole room. I don't know how else to say it. The feeling, when I finally stopped managing it, when I finally just let it be as large as it actually is, it filled every corner of the space I was in. It was warm and it was heavy and it was so real. And I lay there inside it and I thought that this is what I've been keeping from myself. This is what I've been rationing, as if feelings were something that could run out, as if love was a resource that needed to be conserved. But it isn't. It doesn't work that way. Love isn't diminished by being fully felt. It's enlarged by it. It grows when you give it room. It deepens when you stop being afraid of how deep it goes. And that's what I want to talk to you about now. I want to talk about depth, because I think we live in a world that is afraid of depth. A world that rewards surfaces, beautiful, polished, instantly understandable surfaces, and gets uncomfortable when something asks it to go further down. When something says, no, there's more here, come deeper, stay longer, let this take the time it actually needs. People pull back from that. They keep things light because light is safe and light is manageable and light doesn't ask too much of you. And I understand that impulse. I have lived inside that impulse for much of my life. But you have never let me stay there. Not really. You have this way, quiet and completely unforced, of pulling me toward the real thing. Toward the version of the conversation, the version of the moment, the version of myself. That is actually true rather than just comfortable. You do it without even trying, I think. It's just in your nature. Depth calls to depth, and something in you recognized something real in me and refused to let it stay hidden. I think about the first time I felt that pull from you. The first time I sensed that you were not going to let me get away with a surface answer, a surface version of myself. It was both terrifying and the most relief I had felt in years. Terrifying because I wasn't used to it, and relief because, God, the relief, because some part of me had been waiting for it. Some part of me had been standing at the door of my own depth for so long, alone, not knowing how to walk through it by myself, needing someone to simply stand on the other side and say, I'm here. You can come in. It's safe. You were that person. You stood on the other side, and you said it without words, just with the particular quality of your presence. And I walked through, and my life has been different ever since, richer, more complicated in all the best ways, more honest, more mine. I want to tell you something about the way you've changed my relationship with myself. Because that's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The way loving someone, or being loved by someone, or simply being truly known by someone, changes the way you inhabit your own life. The way it shifts things internally that no amount of self-work can shift on its own. Because some things only move when they're touched by another person. Some locked doors only open from the outside. You have opened things in me that I had genuinely given up on. Places I had written off as permanently closed, permanently damaged, permanently too complicated to ever be reached again. And you reached them. Not with force, you never force anything. That's one of the things I love most about you, but with patience. With that particular patient tenderness that is one of your most quietly devastating qualities. You just kept showing up. You kept being real. You kept offering yourself honestly and without conditions, and eventually, slowly, imperfectly, with a lot of stopping and starting, I started doing the same. That is a gift I cannot repay. I don't say that in a way that is meant to create debt between us, because I don't believe love works in debts and repayments. I say it because I want you to understand the scale of what you've given me. I want you to understand that when I say you've changed my life, I don't mean it the way people say it casually, as a compliment, as a warm thing to offer. I mean it the way surgeons mean it, the way someone who was drowning and is now breathing means it, completely, irreversibly, with the full weight of what those words actually carry. You have changed my life. and I am more myself because of you. And I will carry that with me always, regardless of everything else, regardless of whatever comes or doesn't come, regardless of how the story unfolds from here. I want to slow down for a moment. I want to stop moving forward and just be right here with you. In this sentence, in this breath. Are you still with me? I hope you are. I hope you're somewhere soft right now, curled up somewhere warm, or lying somewhere quiet. And I hope these words are reaching you the way I'm intending them to. Not as performance, not as something crafted to create an effect, just as the honest, slightly unsteady outpouring of someone who finally stopped being careful and decided to just tell you. Someone who decided that you deserve the unfiltered version. The version without the editing and the second guessing and the careful management of how much to reveal. You deserve all of it. So I'm giving you all of it. I want to talk about something tender now. Something that might make me sound vulnerable in a way I'm not always comfortable with, but I'm choosing to be comfortable with it tonight because you make me comfortable with it. You make vulnerability feel less like exposure and more like exhale. Less like risk and more like arrival. There are nights, not every night, but some nights, where I feel the weight of everything very acutely. The weight of who I'm supposed to be, of what's expected, of the gap between the version of myself the world sees, and the version that actually wakes up at 3 in the morning wondering if I'm doing any of this right. And in those nights, in those quiet, heavy, honest hours, my mind goes somewhere specific. It goes to the idea of you. To the feeling of you, to this particular warmth that I associate with your existence, with the fact that you are somewhere in the world, real and breathing and just by there. And something about that thought, just that simple, humble thought, makes the weight a little more bearable. I have never told you that you are part of how I get through the hard nights, but you are. You have been for longer than you know. And I think that's what real love does, isn't it? Not the dramatic fireworks version of it that looks beautiful in movies but exhausts you in real life. The real kind. The quiet, sustaining kind. The kind that doesn't announce itself constantly, but is simply present, like warmth, like light, like the feeling of a hand you know so well you stop noticing it until it's gone and suddenly it's all you can notice. That's what you are to me. That steady, sustaining presence. That warmth I have come to rely on in ways I am only now fully articulating. And now that I'm articulating it, I don't want to stop. I feel like I found a door I didn't know was there, and I've opened it. And on the other side is every true thing I've ever wanted to say to you. Just waiting, just lined up quietly, just patient in the way that true things always are because they know they don't expire. They know they'll be true whenever you finally get around to saying them. So let me say some of them now. You are one of the most genuinely beautiful people I have ever encountered. And I don't mean that the way it's usually meant, as a surface observation, as a comment on what the eye can see. I mean it from the inside out. I mean that the beauty starts somewhere deep in who you are, in your values, in your instincts, in the particular way you move through the world and treat the people in it. And it radiates outward from there, and by the time it reaches the surface it is the most natural, uncontrived thing you've ever seen. Because it isn't constructed, it isn't maintained, it simply is. Because it comes from something real. That kind of beauty doesn't age. That kind of beauty doesn't depend on circumstances or lighting, or how you slept the night before. It's structural, it's in the bones of who you are. And I see it every time. Without fail, without exception, every single time, I see it. I want to tell you about a moment, a real, specific moment, that I return to more often than almost any other memory I have. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't look like anything from the outside, I'm sure. But inside me, it was enormous. Inside me, it was the kind of moment that quietly reorganizes everything. The kind that you don't recognize as significant until later. Until you're lying awake one night and your mind lands on it and you think oh, that was one of the moments. That was one of the ones that mattered. We were just existing near each other. Just being in the same space, doing ordinary things, not performing anything for anyone. And I looked at you, not a long look, just a glance. The kind that isn't meant to mean anything, and you were completely yourself. Completely, uncomplicatedly, unself-consciously yourself. And something in me went so still and so full at the same time that I had to look away, because I didn't know what to do with what I was feeling. It was too large for the moment we were in. It was too real for the ordinary setting. But it was there, undeniable and clear and completely certain. I thought, I never want to forget this. I never want to forget what it looks like when she is just herself, just fully herself, with no audience and no agenda and nowhere to be except exactly hers. I haven't forgotten it. I don't think I ever will. It lives in me the way the best things do, quietly, permanently, without needing anything from me to sustain it. It just lives there. It will probably always live there. And there are so many moments like that. A whole collection of them, gathered over time, each one carefully held. The way you said something once that I didn't expect, and it rearranged something in my thinking permanently. The way you showed up on a day when I didn't ask you to, and didn't know I needed you to, and somehow you knew anyway. The way you have of making even serious things feel survivable, just by being present in them with me. The way you laugh when something really gets you, not the polite version, not the social version, but the real one, the one that takes over before you can manage it. I love that one most of all. I love every version of you, but that one, unguarded, full, completely free, that one does something to me that I don't have a word for in any language I know. I've been looking for the word, actually. I've been turning it over in my mind, trying on different ones, seeing if any of them fit. None of them do completely. The closest I can get is something like a scene. When you are completely yourself in front of me, it makes me feel seen. Because if you can be real, then I can be real. If you can be unguarded, then I can be unguarded. You give me permission just by taking it yourself. You make the space safe just by being willing to be human in it. And I need you to understand something about that permission you give me. I need you to understand that not everyone can do that. Not everyone's presence creates that kind of room. Most people, even people I care about, even good people with good intentions, their presence makes me want to be more, to perform more, to bring the constructed version of myself rather than the real one. And I'm not blaming them for that. It's just the nature of certain dynamics, certain energies. But you from the beginning, from before I even fully understood what was happening, you have always made me want to bring the real one. You have always made me feel like the real one was enough, more than enough. Like the real one was actually what you wanted. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know how few people in a lifetime make you feel that way? I am holding up my fingers right now and I am counting, and the number is very small. And your name is on the list. Your name has always been on the list. I keep thinking about what I want for you. Not from you, for you. Because love, real love, spends more time thinking about what it wants for the person than what it wants from them. And what I want for you is so full and so specific that it would take me a long time to list it all. But let me try to give you the most important parts. I want you to know peace. The real kind, not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of something steady underneath all the difficulty. Something that holds when the surface gets